a bit of a rant. It's 23rd of October, 2023. Linn Isonariks speakers. Oh, right then. I would. Right. This is a bit of a follow-up to a comment somebody made on a video of a channel I watch, JM on Cars, and JM made a comment about, well, you know, hi-fi in cars is a bit of a non-starter, and someone sort of took exception to that, saying, yeah, but you know, it's not all about BMW, not B&W, Bowers and Wilkinson Nautilus speakers. They're a top-of-the-line speaker from the Bowers and Wilkinson range. I think they were a limited edition, I'm not sure. I don't believe you can buy them new. But they were a Halo product and all such blah blah blah. Right, now then. So what the fuck's that got to do with Isonariks? Well, Linn. Full disclosure, I'm a dyed in the wool, fully signed up Linn. I'm fully signed up to the front end first philosophy. The idea that you need a source component, whatever. Back in old days, when you had hi-fi, you had either like records, CDs, tape cassettes, or radio. Radio were kind of a viable option. Anyway, you could have a couple of different sources, and the idea, what the Linn philosophy at the time was, your source component needs to be as good as possible, because if you've got information on your source material, your source medium, and if your source component don't get that information off that storage format, with Linn it were typically LPs, because that's where they made their money. That's where they planted their flag. They made turntables. We subsequently moved into the whole lot. I believe you can still buy a turntable from Linn, but you can no longer buy a CD player. They've moved into digital music streaming and all that. You can buy a digital music streamer that's by all accounts, it's a thing of magic. It is, you know. But anyway, the argument is you can't get back what you've lost. If your turntable don't get that information out of groove, it don't matter how much money you spend downstream after your turntable, you're not going to get that information back. So what the fuck's this got to do with Isonariks now? Well, Isonariks, one of the first pair of speakers that Linn started producing, and essentially they're a shit design. I'm sorry. I know, heresy. There'll be Linnies up, and any Linnies who see this video will be like, I suspect they might be triggered. But they're a flawed design. However, they did do bass very well. If you had a zillion million fucking pounds worth of amplifiers driving the fuckers. How do you know that? Because I used to own a pair. But the pair I had were Aktiv. There's active and there's passive. I'm going to skip over a lot of details here, but essentially, inside a speaker, inside a loudspeaker, you've got a crossover. And that essentially just divvies up the frequencies to the different drive units you might have in a speaker, in a loudspeaker. You got your tweeter and your woofer. Sometimes you have a mid-range as well. Isonariks, they had tweeters, mid-range and woofers. Anyway, passive is where your amplifier amplifies a whole lot. It goes into the speaker, it gets divvied up by a crossover, and it goes to drive units. Active, you take the crossover out of the speaker Some speakers now you can buy from ATC. This is all still contained within the speaker cabinet. However, how Linn did it, they took the crossover out of the speaker cabinet, put it in a box, and you put that box between the preamp and the power amp. So now the signal at line level comes out your preamp into your crossover. The crossover divvies it up. So you've got your treble, mid and bass. It then goes to a dedicated amplifier for each frequency range. And in doing that, you're overcoming a lot of obstacles. You're making the job a lot easier for all the components down the signal path. And it, you know, blah blah blah. And as far as the dealer's concerned, fuck me, what an orgasm. We can sell this punter a lot more hardware. In the case of the Isonariks, instead of having a stereo power amp driving them, you need 3. Anyway, so yeah, so you need more boxes to do the same job. But because they've got a lot easier job to do, fuck me, they sound a lot better. But I was reading somebody put a question forward about, oh, you know, it was some hi-fi forum. Anyway, and this somebody were thinking, oh, I might be. They put the question forward, oh, I'd like to get a pair of second-hand Isonariks, and oh, do you think it's worthwhile? You know, and it triggered me. If I'm honest, it triggered me because no is a straight answer. No. Depending what sources you go to, Linn stopped producing Isonariks in 93, 95. I had a pair in the early to mid 90s, and I bought them second hand. Because back then they were about, off the top of my head, they were about $2.5, $3 for Isonariks. I did not pay $2.5 to $3 for them. And I subsequently traded them in against a different pair of speakers. Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. A pair of Celtics. Anyway, that's beside the by. But this somebody's asking about, oh, you know, oh, there's a pair of speakers here, you know. And yeah, there were thousands of pounds for this pair of speakers. Oh, yeah. And they did certain things really well. Once you'd spunked off a zillion million pounds on your source component, on your amplifiers, and bothering your ass to set them up right. I don't think I'd ever heard Isonariks passive, in fairness. I'd only ever heard them active. Like I said, they sounded fantastic when they were active. But to get to that point, you've gone on a long journey of fucking hardware purchases to rack up enough hardware to run Isonariks active. I mean, you can, if you're a well-off fucker, you can buy it. You know, you can buy it out. You would have, should have, could have bought it off, you know, outright. You know, from the get-go. But typically, people don't have enough money to do that. But it's just. It's a reasonable comparison to draw with cars, classic cars. You know, oh, I might get a such and such car, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but it's 20-year-old. It's worn out. Any rubber component in that car is going to be perished. If it hasn't been replaced, it needs replacing, at the least. All your suspension bushes, all your fuel lines, all your fucking coolant hoses. Good luck. Needs replacing. Because it's an old car. You know, my favourite hobby horse, the Volkswagen Mark II Golf. Oh, gorgeous car. God, gorgeous. But again, off the top of my head, they went out of production in, well, the last ones you could get were on a carriage. So it's about 94, 93. I think possibly 93 was when you could start buying the Mark III Golf. So there you are, you know, the newest Mark II Golf you're going to be able to buy is 30-year-old. 30 fucking years old. Oh, it's all original, and it's fucked then. Because everything's perished. Lovely car. Wonderful car. Isonariks. Oh, lovely pair of speakers. Oh, yeah, but get a fucking grip. You know, the SR-71. Oh, yeah, could get across the Atlantic in 2 hours. Fuck me, what an orgasm. Had seats for 2 on board. And it cost millions of dollars to operate. Yeah, but you could get across the Atlantic in 2 hours. Well, I know, that's lovely. You know. How much money are you going to spunk off chasing after this thing where what you're really thinking is, oh, well, these are old speakers, but they used to be, you know, the £2,000-3,000 speaker bracket. So that they'll have an amazing performance. So I can buy into that bracket of performance by getting an old pair now. No. No. Stop it. No.